Well, good morning, Paul. How are you? Can you just text in to make sure that, and Caitlin's coming in? Great. So we got people coming in now. That's beautiful. Welcome everyone to the why,
Why, how, yeah.
how, and what
Darn right.
of the internet. Um, so I am just going to wait a couple minutes just in case we have some other people joining us this morning.
Okay.
I am Patty. Paul and Caitlin already know me, but Patty Andreessen Shue, Oshkosh Chamber of Commerce, and Melanie and Jim from Stellar Blue this morning. So all of us are excited to have you here. They've got some great presentation lined up and information for you. As a kind reminder, if you have any questions, you can chat at any time during the presentations, and I'll be happy to be your voice for you. In addition, we will be recording the session, so it will be on the Chamber website, as well as you will receive links so that you will be able to share this with other people as well. So with that, I welcome Jim. I assume you're kicking off, or is it going to be Melanie this
I'll
morning?
kick it off. Why not? I'll kick it off. Hello, everybody. So, Patty, just to confirm, we have Caitlin here and Paul
Right.
at this
At
time.
this point,
Cool.
we may have other people coming in. We had more people signed up, but we always have a little bit of a flexibility where people will come in.
Any chance this is Caitlin from Amplify?
It is.
Hey, beautiful. Okay. So this will be an interesting conversation. And Paul, I don't know much about you. Where are you from, Paul?
Paul, do you want to use your chat?
Just so we've got some kind of understanding of where you guys are coming. Oh, here we go.
Paul is from New Hydraulics in Oshkosh.
New hydraulics. Okay. Just want to write that down. Hydraulics. Okay. Okay. Well, let me just introduce us here. I'm Jim Dubinsky, Managing Director here at Stellar Blue Technologies, and I have Melanie with me. She's one of our strategists here at Stellar Blue Technologies. She wanted to join us, and she works a lot with our clients. Patty, you know Melanie now for a couple sessions, and Melanie oversees a lot of the work we do with the Oshkosh Chamber. Stellar Blue has been a member of the Oshkosh Chamber for 8 years now. We also do all the web work. We do a lot of the internal work for the Oshkosh Chamber, and a really proud member of the Chamber. So, Caitlin, I know you know all about the Chamber, but Paul, it's a great organization to be a part of, and we're really proud to be a part of that. So let me share my screen a little bit. I'll show you a little bit about Stellar Blue, and then we can go from there. This might take a minute. Okay. As you can see, we build exceptional websites. That's really our core competency, is building websites. But as we build websites, other components come into it that help us really enhance all of our clients' abilities to perform on the internet, meeting their goals and conversions. So you can see at Stellar Blue, we build great sites. We really do. But then we also do some programming. We do portals, we do apps. We actually build robots here at Stellar Blue. We built a couple of robots for some of our clients. Really cool stuff. Multimedia. We fly a drone. We have drone pilots. We do virtual tours. We do virtual reality. We do some work and Melanie's been doing some work with some realtors in the area here that we've been doing virtual reality in their spaces, in their houses and businesses that they're selling. And then we have our design division. They handle all the graphic design work. They're the ones that create the website fronts, and they do all the branding material. I think, Patty, we just got them doing the annual report for the Oshkosh Chamber, if I'm correct, a couple months ago. So we do a lot of that. This division of Stellar Blue manages all that. And then over here, we've got our marketing department, which we'll talk more about in this discussion. We do a lot of digital marketing for our clients and basically for all of our clients who do some type of digital marketing. But that could include some Facebook marketing. That could include SEO. That could include getting found out on the internet. A lot of tips and tricks wind up in that marketing area right there. But we'll talk more about that strategy in this meeting that we're having here. And then, like I said earlier, we do the obvious the websites. We do e-commerce. We're a WordPress firm. We also use another tool called Elementor that really makes websites jump. So we're feeling really good about our custom abilities. And then on top of everything else, we do analytics. And that's really the core of everything we do is our analytic department. All these other attributes flow nicely, but without knowing the analytics and how people are looking at that data and using the websites, we really aren't gaining on it. So by putting analytics in place, we're no longer guessing at how we should create more content. We've got a really good idea of what it's doing prior to even having to redo stuff. So those are the divisions of Stellar Blue. I think we can just jump right in. What I wanted to talk about today, everybody, in our marketing division, we use a theory called the why, how, what. And let me open up that. So this is really what we at Stellar Blue focus on. A lot of our conversations focus on the why, how, what. It's surprising after you understand more about the why, how, what, how you can apply that basically to every principle in your life. When I meet people, I use the why, how, what now just to have a flow to my conversation. It's interesting. So as we dive into this, think big picture. But here at Stellar Blue, we say why, how, what. And that's really the three buckets of what content is. The why, as you can see, is the brand awareness. It's the story. It's the reason your company exists. Our story, we've been around 18 years. We started out, three of us working at J.J. Keller. We've got to know a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Hey, I heard you know how to build websites. Would you mind helping?" So I took a couple hours, went over to his place of employment, and he walked through a process, and we built a website. That was our first website and turned out really, really well. We took that money and invested it back into the eSeed program over at Fox Valley Tech. We got to know Amy Peach at that point. From that first meeting of that entrepreneurial class, we sat down. There were 9 other entrepreneurs in there, and we all went around a room and introduced ourselves and explained what we did. Well, when I went around and our team went around, we said, we'll build websites. We take small businesses and we make them convert online, and we'll make your revenue stream jump. By the end of the night, we had all of those entrepreneurs coming to us needing websites. That's really when I knew Stellar Blue was in a position that we were needed and we could do some really good work. So that's our initial story. Our initial story was that getting engaged in that, letting you guys know, we went to J.J. Keller. We're from Oshkosh. The more you get to know about me, Stellar Blue, Melanie, the more you're going to be able to relate to us as we continue down our conversation. So I really challenge everybody to, when you're in a conversation, let people know who you are. Don't just absorb, let them know. The more you can talk about your business brand or your personal brand, the richer the conversation is going to be. So then what we do is go from the overview of, listen, who we are, here's our brand, here's the awareness of our company, here's why we exist. The next step is the how. And the how is the social engagement. Let me back this up a little bit here. I'm racing a little fast here. So I wanted to open up this chart. So this is the why, how, what. The how is the engagement part. Now that you know who we are, what do we do? Why are we the experts? What is going on that we can become that expert, that trusted expert that you may want to purchase something from? Unless you know me, unless you understand what I do, it's really hard to purchase something from me. So the funnel really goes the why, tell me about you, the engagement, the how is what we do. And I just showed you what we do, and I went through a little bit of what we do. So here's where our expertises exist. So if you need help with custom websites, now you know where to go. If you need help with analytics, that's a specialty of ours. So this is really the how, what here, right here. This circle is really the how of what Stellar Blue does. So the final piece is the what, and the what is what we're selling. So think about that. Now that you know who I am, Now that you know what I do, now I can start selling to you. If I came at you and said, hey, I need you to buy a website here, buy a website, you're going to say, whoa, who are you? Why do I care? And so on and so forth. So think about your conversation as you're progressing through it. Tell people why. Again, tell them what you do. Get a little bit about you. Just a little more knowledge about you really helps the scenario go. What you or how you do it. What are you doing here? We build websites, and then the conversion. We can do them at a really low cost. We can really enhance the product itself. We can do this. We can do that. So those are the 3 steps to the why, how, what. Think about that as your day goes along now, that process of how you communicate. And I'll break this down a little bit here as we go along. So, but before I go any further, does anybody have any questions? I know I've got a small group here today. Can make this real personal if we like. But does anybody have any questions about that?
I do not see anybody coming in with any chat. Oh,
Yeah.
Paul said I'm good, thanks.
Okay, great. Okay. This is going to go pretty quick, you guys. So if there's no questions, I want to roll through this. So I'm just going to give you a deeper dive then into the whys. And we can, and me and Melanie can supply you with this slideshow later on, just to give you more information on this. But this really goes into understanding more about what the why is. Tell your story. We put some examples in this spreadsheet here. 3 years ago, I was working at a grocery store. The days were long, and you guys can read this if you want, but it gives you an example of what a story is and why people should know you more. The engagement, what you do, how you do it. Why are you the online expert? Sitting at home all day, I was working so this is explaining on how to do exercises. Become that expert. And then the conversion, once again, the why, how, what. So, okay, I don't have a whole lot more, Patty. More questions, maybe? I don't know what else you guys would want to hear about the why, how, what. I can show you how. Well, let me show you this, because me and Melanie do a lot of working with the why, how, what on websites. Let me show you this. So when we go into a website, you'll see this with our website. This is how we apply the how, why, or the why, how, what into a website. So the first step is you got to get to know us. All right. That's our mission. Our first step on a website is the why. Here's what we do. Here's what's going on. Here's who Stellar Blue is. This is our mission. Here's our why. Stellar Blue's mission is to be a reputable, full-service digital marketing firm that consistently provides affordable, professional, and creative online solutions that exceed the expectations of our clients. That is literally the why of Stellar Blue. Now we go into, let me jump over here. Now we go into the how. What does Stellar Blue do? Stellar Blue builds websites. Here's what we do right here. Here's our expertise. Here's what we can teach people. Here's what we can show people, like I said earlier, what we do. Okay, now when you go down to the conversion part, our website is set up. First of all, we ask a couple more questions, but then here's the contact us. And for Stellar Blue, the conversion is somebody contacting us, be it through this document right here, be it through our contact us form, be it through a phone call, be it through our chat, anything that we can do to create a conversion of a contact us, somebody reaching out to us, we consider one conversion. So we're measuring conversions all day long based on the why, how, what. How many conversions, how many people traveled through the website that we created, and work their way to get a hold of us. We also build out, let me show you some of these. We have product pages here at Stellar Blue. We have quite a few products that we sell. For now, we're putting them in here. So what we'll do, these are all blogs, AKA products. We have SSLs that we sell. We have drone work, like I said earlier. We do an ADA compliant tool. So these are our tools right here. When I open up one of these, I'll open up our most recent one. This is our why, how, what. What is an SSL? Our job in this role was to teach people what an SSL is before we can sell it to them. So we come in, here's the why. As of Tuesday, April 13th, any website without an SSL isn't going to have the ability to be shown on Chrome browsers. That's coming up. That they still didn't imply that. That was a week ago that came up. They're still working on it. If you're using a Chrome browser, I can show you way up here on top. If you guys look at our website, way up here on top, see that little lock right there? That means we have an SSL on here. SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. It encrypts your data so people can't steal it. It's a big deal. And Google thinks it's so important that if you don't have an SSL layer on your site, they're not even going to show your site. So when we heard that, we came out and we knew we needed to let everybody know, hey, if you're going to have a problem here, we got you covered. So last week we built this product page. But first of all, we had to talk to people about why it's important that they understand why an SSL is needed. So now after we scroll down, you're going to start seeing how Stellar Blue, this is all the why right here, because we have a big why in front of us. Why people need an SSL. It's a big topic, but most people look at an SSL and go, I don't even know what that is. Why would I need it? And it kind of blows away. So we took the time to really put a why into this product page. So you can read all the way through it. And then when you get down to the bottom here, here's where the conversion happens again. So this is the why, how, what is built right into these pages. The why, because you need an SSL. The what is all this right here. This is the HTTP, the TTPS. All this is the why of us. And then you get all the way down to the bottom, and here's the conversion. And you can see that over and over. Yes, Patty?
So in the past, the SSL would, my understanding, would have been used if you were actually doing transactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes and no.
Okay. So now there's saying that even if you are not doing transactions on your website, you should have an SSL certification?
Right. Because usually when somebody fills out a document like this submit right here, if you don't have an SSL on there, somebody could steal your name, your email address, and any additional information you could send to us. They could pipe that information right out of this website. With an SSL in place, it's really, 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 really difficult to do that. And that's why they needed to be put in place. Yes.
Ah.
Yep.
So that is, and when is that a relatively, I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's just that I guess as a user, I'm used to looking for an SSL if I'm giving credit card information.
Yep.
But that makes perfect sense.
Yep. Nowadays it's everybody, not just that. And Google's the one that's really pressing on that. Other browsers, Firefox, they don't have it, or Foxfire don't have it. Firefox, sorry. But some of the browsers don't. Google is serious about it. They made an announcement about 1.5 years ago that they were going to start doing this, and it slowly has gotten to the point now where they're saying, hey, listen, if you don't have an SSL, now you're going to be punished for it. So for us, that's a big deal. That's Stellar Blue. So we had to get the word out and do the why, how, what to get that out of here, to get that out. And you can see that through more of our pages here. Let me show you some of the another product. So here's another product that we did the why, how, what. This is an ADA product here. So you can see as we roll down here, what is ADA compliant? Why do you need it? What? So all this is talking about ADA, American Disability Act, and why people need that, why it's important on your website. And here's another tool, Patty, that is coming on that a website is going to need. Everybody is going to have should have the ability to use a website. So the American Disability Act has jumped in and said, yes, your website needs to have these components in order to be compliant. And if you're working if you're trying to get a grant, if you're trying to get money from the government to support your cause, be it a nonprofit, be it whatever, if your site is not ADA compliant, you're going against federal regulations, and they won't give you a grant. So it's really important that that people that own websites and companies that own websites understand that information. And from a Stellar Blue standpoint, again, that's a big deal. That's where we live. That's one of our products.
Mhm. What about if you are, have they gone so far as to say if you are a defense supplier?
Well, if you're a defense supplier, you have a lot more securities in place than this.
No, I meant as far as ADA.
ADA, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to have to be. Yes, anybody that's working with the government, if you're trying to get work from the government, I would highly recommend that you have an ADA compliant tool in place. That's how important these ADAs are. And what we did, I don't know if y'all can see down in the bottom left here, we've got this little symbol on our website. This is our ADA tool. So if I open this up, this gives me, the individual, the ability to change my website. So as you can see, is if I were to click on some of these right here, let's just click on that. See how the website changed? This I did on my own. It made the text bigger, so I can turn that back off. Over here, so that actually, I don't think you could hear that, but that actually put an audio in place, so I could actually hear things going on. Down here, oops. What happened?
Jim, not to bounce around, but going back to what you said about the SSL, what is the
Yes.
cost to obtain that certificate?
The cost, they do vary. Check with your website company. Really, there's different levels of security in an SSL. We at Stellar Blue, we use the highest quality. We're not going to mess around, but you can go out to GoDaddy and you can see on your websites that you can pick a level of the security that SSL will provide. Google doesn't care what level of security you do. They want you to have an SSL. I think eventually they're going to say, hey, you have to have this type of an SSL. But for now, anybody, they don't care. As long as your website shows that little lock and you have that SSL in place, they don't care how what am I looking for? How in depth that SSL really is.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.
So Melanie, you want to jump in here a little bit and talk about, I know you and me at Stellar Blue, we talk a lot about the why, how, what, when, and me and Melanie have a lot of conversations just like this with leads. They'll come to us and say, hey, we're looking for a website. We get into a conversation about the why, how, what, and then really, as Melanie can attest to, we literally lay out the website with the why, how, what in place. And I don't know, Melanie, if you have any that we just did that with that you'd want to share and walk through, but just wanted you to talk a little bit about how you apply the why, how, what's into what your strategies are as you build out websites.
Yep, and it kind of goes full circle like you showed in the beginning. We are working on a website right now.
I'll let you share, I'll stop.
So we're working with a customer right now. We don't have it fully built out, but we had to sit down and kind of go through that first homepage and draw out, why are you doing what you're doing?
Right.
What got you into this business? All right. So now what is it that you do? What's the most important product that you have? And how do they get in touch with you? And that took us a half an hour because, of course, when you're starting to plan a website or even when you're redesigning a website, it can be a lot of different components all in one. And we end up going all over the place. So it also gives you kind of a structure of drawing people in and somewhere to begin and somewhere to end. But it also helps in the marketing aspect of things. So when we start talking about the SEO, when we start talking about the paid advertising, what is it that we want people to learn about us? And what is it that we want to sell? Because we don't want to sell everything all at once all the time. So when we walk through that, it makes things a little bit easier, and the strategy becomes a whole. Same thing when we walk through analytics. What are we looking for? What are our goals? And how are we going to make those come true? Why are those our goals? Because those are a moving target as well. So in June, you might have one target, but in December, you may have a different one. And so it's important to make sure that we're walking through that on a normal basis. So it kind of fits into everything that we do, not just the website, not just the analytics, and not just your marketing. It all comes full circle. It's kind of what I enjoy about working with my clients, because I get to structure that a little bit with. So I don't know that, Jim, I don't know that I have anything to share. Like I said, we're still working on some of those.
Yeah.
Some of our customers' websites do follow that.
But it's funny, Melanie, and I know you've been here for a couple months now, of when you talk about a website, knowing that the why, how, what exists makes it easier to talk about the website and to actually structure a website because of that that's in place. And that's what we found here at Stellar, is the ease that once you know the why, how, what's going to be there, how you can build around that. And I think that really made yours and mine careers easier to visualize as we're helping our clients because of that tool. I really feel that
Absolutely
input to how we can go about and strategize through that. So that's, again, that's why we're challenging you guys just to think about that. Oops, thunder and lightning here. Wish me luck. All plugged in here. But anyways, any more questions from you guys? Patty, does that make sense?
I am checking the chat to see if we have anything at this point. Otherwise,
They've gained some participants too.
Any comments from anyone as you are planning your new websites or looking through your processes? I think it's that mantra of why, how, and what is a good one as you're looking at any projects, whether they're internet or not, at least from a marketing perspective.
Right.
So, all right. Well, thank you both then, Melanie and Jim, for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you for having us.
have a great day. And
We'll
you're
see
getting
you
a
all.
thank you for the presentation from Paul.
Thanks, Paul. We appreciate that. We'll talk to you all soon.
All
Have a
righty.
good morning. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.